Good morning. It's me, your host, Kenny Polcari, host of the Party Morning Market Commentary. Everything you need to know. So what it is Friday, August 13th, 2021, and there's a lot going on. Some good, some bad, but there's still a lot going on. Yet futures continue to move a little bit higher every day, just trending and trending. So what happened yesterday, right? The PPI came out yesterday and surged. Yet no one is even talking about it. No one's commenting about the pressure. Initial jobless claims and continuing claims, though, improved, so that was the focus. The Delta variant continues to cause chaos and confusion, all while stocks move up. The FDA now approves a booster shot, and the biotechs are responding nicely. Oil traders are lamenting COVID, while stock traders just ignore it. So what are we having for dinner tonight? We're having the shrimp scampi, but that's a simple dish to make. We'll get to that in a minute. So stocks just go up again as if it's a one-way street. Stocks can only go up. This even in the face of a surge in the PPI report that shows inflationary pressures are building just beneath the surface. Yesterday's PPI index came in well ahead of the estimates and the expectations, and that's not considered bullish at all. In fact, it's quite the contrary. A rise in the PPI suggests that price pressures continue to threaten the recovery of both the U.S. economy and global economy. So what was the report? Well, core PPI rose by 1 full percent versus the expectation of 0.5%. Ex-food and energy, 1 full percent versus the expectation of 0.5%. Core PPI year over year of 7.8% versus 7.2%, and the ex-food and energy came in up 6.2% versus the expectation of 5.6%. And this is not something anybody wants to hear at all. And funny though, when Wednesday's CPI report came out in line with the expectations, suggesting that price pressures are moderating and inflation is transitory, everybody took to the airwaves to make sure to tell us, including even Joey Biden, who jumped on the bandwagon to say, don't worry about it. There's no inflation at all. Move on, nothing to see. Yet when yesterday's report came out, it fell on deaf ears. No one addressed it. Certainly not Joey. Not one Fed official, and not even the Wall Street Journal chose to include it in their daily market report. Instead, they focused on the positives, right? So the inline or better than expected jobless reports, continuing claims reports, along with some last minute earnings from Palantir that reported better than expected. And all the vaccine makers, because word was that the FDA was rumored to be close to approving COVID booster shots for everyone. In fact, last night after the bell, they approved it for anyone with a compromised immune system, and that means the biotechs are going to surge. Yesterday, Moderna up 1.6%, Pfizer up almost 2%, BioNTech up 4%, Novavax up 5.5%. And they'll obviously do better as we push on. This all is the Delta variant taking its toll on the U.S. healthcare system, with 91% of the current cases are those that are unvaccinated. There was also a headline that suggested the new variant, the Lambda variant, is even more resistant to a vaccine, causing only more chaos and confusion, which should be great for the work-from-home stocks and the pharmaceutical names. In fact, the work-from-home ETF, WFH, was up 1% yesterday and is now up 16% year-to-date. By the end of the day, the Dow added 14 points, the S&P was up 13, the NASDAQ added 51 points, and the Russell lost 6 points. The 10-year Treasury yield ended the day at 1.34%. The dollar index fell to 92.91, and the VIX continues to fall, ending the day at 1557, raising the flag as investors continue to become even more complacent. Yet on the other hand, they are buying plenty of downside protection in the broader market as it trends higher, as they look for a safety net in the event of a change in psychology. Now look, there was no real standout in the broader market. 11 S&P sectors, out of the 11 S&P sectors, tech was the leader of the pack, up about 0.6%, while the industrials led the way lower, down 0.2%. Everything else was in between, so nothing really dramatic. The value trade was unchanged, while the growth trade was up 0.5%. The ProShares S&P Short Equities, ticker symbol SH stock, ETF, their volume has surged recently, suggesting that many more people are buying the downside protection, because you see, by buying SH, you are buying protection against a decline in the S&P. It essentially makes you short the market. And this is the clue that while investors want to be in the market, They're concerned of the coming risk to the market in the months ahead as we move into September, October. So they're protecting themselves, and that's just good risk management, right? It's called the hedge. You're long the market, but you buy protection going short the market. So if the market goes down, this increases in value while your stocks decrease in value and vice versa, right? This morning, U.S. futures continue to thrash around. The Dow's up 60 points, S&Ps are up 3, the Nasdaq's up 4, the Russell's down 2. And while there's a roster of economic data due out today, none of it is going to drive the market at all. The chat is going to be all about the Fed and the coming Jackson Hole Summit in 2 weeks, and the idea that this market will never see another down day. There's nothing to go up and up and up, and nobody seems to be concerned at all about any of the issues that that we've highlighted. Recent comments by some of the street's most popular analysts suggest that there isn't anything that could or derail this ongoing rally. And that is exactly the issue. Some even saying that no matter what the Fed does, investors have no place to go, so money will flow into stocks. And while the Delta variant is threatening the reopening of the U.S. economy, nobody seems to care about it at the moment. It's a non-event until it isn't, right? Because we know how quick that can change. Suddenly we're going to get a headline and boom, right? We're hearing all about companies putting off the return to work calendar event now, at least until January of 2022. Versus the Labor Day target that we had. And we're also hearing more about slowdowns at the ports in California because of outbreaks of Delta across Asia. And that's causing, once again, that supply chain conversation, the supply chain issue conversation. And that led the retailers and some analysts to tell us yesterday to make sure you go out and buy all of your holiday presents now. Otherwise, you risk not being able to buy them later. And I think that's disgusting. Right? It's creating more chaos. It creates more angst. It creates more panic. I just say, let's boycott the whole thing. Right? Boycott the whole thing and spend time with our families this year versus buying all that crap, right? We can cook together. We can cuddle on the couch. We can play games. We can stream movies. And if you're really in a warm climate, like in Florida, you can go to the beach. You can play golf. You can go swimming, sailing, fishing, etc. Right? That sounds so much better than all that crap that you buy to do what? To pacify who? To pacify you or pacify the retailers? In any event, it is what it is. And stocks in Europe are higher as well this morning. Not a lot, but they are higher. There's no economic data to drive the mood. So investors continue to go with the momentum trade and the idea that the year-end S&P price target suggests that we still have another 5 to 7% to go. So just jump in. At 6:30, European markets are all up about 0.3%. Again, like I said, nothing dramatic. Oil is churning at 68.80. It's down 20 cents as traders in the oil market are screaming all about how Delta is going to destroy demand. So they're selling oil and setting the place on fire, all while investors in stocks are brushing Delta aside and buying up everything they can. It's illogical. How can one group focus on the negatives while the other group is is completely ignoring and focusing on the positives, right? Delta and the coming variants will either destroy demand or not. Oil traders think yes, while equity traders think, not so much. And so therefore, you have the market, right? Buyers and sellers. Bitcoin is holding its own at 46,500, while Ethereum is hovering at 3,250. All the lobbying efforts by the industry, and they've spent $2.4 million year to date versus the $2.8 they spent in all of 2020. And the headlines surrounding cryptos of late have done nothing to scare investors away. In fact, you can argue that it has only emboldened investors and therefore has helped to support the prices of these two headline assets, right? Look, cryptos are not going away anytime soon. Let's just understand that. They're not going to go away, right? They will play a role. So if you have a portfolio, you should be dipping your toes. Don't dive in. You should be dipping your toes. It's a good place to start into this asset class just to get some exposure. You know, somewhere between 3 and 4% is what I would tell people. The S&P ended the day at 44.60, just a hair below its daily high. We're now up and through 44.55, a level that I thought was at least going to provide some resistance to the market. But remember, we don't have any hard data, right? We're in uncharted territory. So right now it was flying by the seat of the pants. And right now it's all about the momentum trade, and the momentum is up. But remember, that trade can reverse quickly. And will most likely do so when it happens, just because we are so stretched. So go with your eyes open so that you're not surprised. Be ready for that turn in events and for the market to kind of correct. And when it does, that's when you should have your chopping list ready. Remember, you can text the word invest to 21,000 on your cell phone. You'll download and get my digital business card delivered right to your phone. Feel free to download it, send me an email or a text, give me a call. I'm always happy to engage, talk about the markets, planning, thoughts, concerns, and ideas. You know, you can also follow me on Twitter at Kenny Polcari and on my Instagram at KennyP1961. And this morning at 9 o'clock, I will be on Fox Business with Stuart Varney. It's a Friday morning regular, so you'll always catch me on Friday mornings at 9 a.m. You'll catch me Tuesday afternoons at 2 with Charles Payne. That's a regular spot, so Thursdays and Fridays, you can always depend on seeing me. So what are we having for dinner tonight? So this is simple, right? It's a Friday night. You don't really feel like cooking. You're tired from the week. So make the shrimp scampi. It takes you all of 20 minutes max, right? It's easy to make. You put it over linguine. If you want, you can even put it over rice. I'll obviously have it over linguine. It takes you, like I said, 15, 20 minutes maybe to make. And it's not nearly as difficult as it looks. Quite honestly, it's quite simple. So you just need a couple of things. You need a pound of the large, clean and deveined shrimp, right? Tails off, clean and deveined, all that. You need butter, olive oil, garlic, lemon, white wine, chopped parsley, salt and pepper, and a pound of linguine. Put a pot of salted water on the back burner, bring it to a rolling boil, get it ready for when you need to put the linguine in, right? The linguine only needs to cook for about 8 minutes. In the meantime, in a big, large saute pan, something that's going to be able to accommodate the linguine, you're going to melt the butter, you're going to add a splash of olive oil so the butter doesn't burn, add the crushed sliced garlic, and saute. And in this case, you should add a fair amount. Three nice sized cloves is good, right? Keep the heat on medium so that you don't burn the butter or the garlic. Now add the juice of 1 whole lemon. Complement that with some white wine, about a quarter of a cup of white wine in the pan, and pour yourself a glass as well. Bring it to a boil. Now add the shrimp, salt and pepper, and saute quickly until it's nice and thick on both sides. The shrimp cooks very quickly, no more than 5 minutes maybe. You've put your pasta in. Now you're going to take the pasta out when it's done after 8 minutes. Take it out with the tongs. The tongs, and put it. Take the pasta out of the pasta pot with the tongs, and put it into the saute pan with the shrimp and the wine and the garlic. Toss it, right? Now, if it sucks up all that juice right away, you know what you can do? Take a ladle of the pasta water and you can add it to the saute pan. Keep the heat on just medium-low as you're tossing the pasta with the shrimp and the garlic and the wine so everything gets coated nicely. In the meantime, you can take a handful of fresh grated Parmigiana cheese, and I know Italians will say you never eat cheese with fish, and I got to tell you, it's wrong. Take a nice handful of Parmigiana cheese, put it in the saute pan, toss that as well, get it all nice and coated, and serve it immediately in a warm bowl, right? Make sure that everyone gets 3 or 4 shrimp. So depending on how many people you are, you got to kind of figure that out. So if it's 4 people, you're going to need 16 or 18 shrimps. If you're 6 people, you're going to need 24, 26 shrimps, right? You want to make it, and if you have the nice large ones, if you have the medium shrimps, then you're going to want more because they're smaller, right? In any event, when you serve this, you should have your the white wine, the one that you use to cook with, have it nice and chilled so you can enjoy a glass of white wine with this meal. And this always, always, always begs for a side of toasted Italian garlic bread, just so you can soak up some of the sauce that's still left in the bowl behind, because it's really, really good. Look, it's a simple dish to make. It's Friday night. Don't stress yourself out. Just go whip it up, sit down, enjoy it with your family, enjoy it with your husband, your wife, your kids, or just enjoy it by yourself. It's a simple dish to make, and it's always good the next day. So if you got leftovers, don't worry about it. Tomorrow's lunch, there you go. Listen, it's Friday morning. The sun is coming up. It's going to be a rainy, stormy weekend here and along the coast of Florida. We're getting hit with a tropical storm. We're supposed to have rain the whole week. Not a direct hurricane, just a tropical storm, but it's going to be lousy weather. And that kind of makes sense. Today is Friday the 13th, so it's all coming together. In any event, have a great weekend. I'll see you on Monday morning. Take good care.